All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. CPI numbers came out, and wouldn't you know it, things are getting more expensive. So I thought that we would start this. Your purchasing power is less than it was a month ago. Okay. Um, I figured we should start. Oh, yeah, and that's yeah. Okay, so I figured that we should start before I go off on another tangent. I figured that we should start this with a couple different graphs or charts that I'm sure people are familiar with, but important to point out. So here is the purchasing power of the US dollar over time since the Federal Reserve was created. Okay. Creates a central bank with ability to manage the country's money supply. So 1913, for a dollar, you could get 30 Hershey's chocolate bars. Okay. And now you see blah, 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 blah. President criminalizes the possession of gold. That's fantastic. The government loves us. Gold standard is abandoned. And then we have a QE infinity. Now, the purchasing power of the US dollar has fallen by like 98% since the Federal Reserve was enacted. Okay, so, clearly that sucks. Now there's pros and cons, but I believe the cons outweigh the pros to an increase of money supply. Now, let's go over to M2, which is the actual money supply. So M2 is like cash that me and you use to go and purchase things, right? So the money supply just continues to go up and up and up, which devalues the currency, okay? So then you think, I wonder, given the fact that the US dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power since the Federal Reserve was created, and the fact that the money supply only seems to continue to go up forever, and this isn't just in America, this is around the entire world, but given that fact, and inflation always goes up, 2.6% today, right? Well, you'll hear headlines of like, oh, inflation's coming down. It's like, well, it still increased just less than it did last month. So it's a play on words, right? I mean, inflation goes up and it just continues to go up. So then you think, okay, there needs to be some sort of a solution. Now let's look at buying eggs. And this is hilarious. I'm sure many people have seen this, all these things, but regardless, it's worth going over. So this is from the Federal Reserve of St. Louis's website. So they had created this buying eggs with Bitcoin to kind of show the fact that Bitcoin sucks and it is a horrible alternative and it was doomed to fail. So they tried to create this chart for us idiot citizens so we could understand buying eggs. Everyone buys eggs. Okay, so here's the cost of eggs in US dollars. Okay. Wow, look at that. Jeez, what is this? This is in, 2 years. it increased more than double. So that sucks. Now, this isn't US dollars. So clearly that's not good. Okay. So now let's go to buying eggs in Bitcoin. Wow. Would you look at this? The price of eggs in Bitcoin just continues to go down and down and down and down and down and down. Everything gets cheaper when priced in Bitcoin. All right. With that being said, let's go over, take that what you will, let's go over stocks and what happened today. Okay, CPI report came out. Things are getting more expensive, shocker. Only 2.6%. All right, so CPI comes out right here. Boom, great reaction. Now, I think we're in kind of the regime of once risk events are over, the market is happy. It's like, okay, cool, that one's done. Now we can get back to buying stocks. So I placed a debit spread in the queues. Kind of did some shopping around a little bit, but I placed a debit spread in the queues. Expiring December 20th. $515 is a long call, $525 is the short call. Was it $4.66? Those closed today at $4.72. The reason I chose that is because that was the best that I could find in terms of a potential return without getting, too far out of the money. So that's why I picked those. Again, minimum is 100% return. The maximum return I look for is 100% return. So this one is over 100%. Again, how do you know that? It's a $10 spread between 515, 525 minus what you pay. $4.66. So that's over 100%. Would be the maximum return. Okay, now I still think this could go down, and if it does, it's totally fine. It's no big deal. But we could be in a regime here where price on the indexes start respecting this 9-day EMA, and that's total possibility, right? This happens here. How many days in a row is this? It's like a week. 2 weeks, right? So that's a possibility. Okay. I'm still in those leveraged QQQQ debit spreads. December 13 expiration. $80 is the long call. And $90 is the short call. This is $4.40. Those are currently $4.10. All right. Now, moving on, let's talk about the indexes today here. So the reason I put on these debit spreads and Qs is really strong reaction to the CPI, which kind of threw me off a little bit because inflation rose more than it did last month. The fake numbers came out more than the fake numbers last month. So, yeah. So then price starts ripping, and I thought, you know what? Maybe we're in a regime where, I guess I said this earlier, where after these unknown events are over and done with, as long as it's nothing crazy or unexpected, the demand for stocks is such that it'll just keep going, but crazy day, wild day. So I had placed this debit spread right around here. So here's the market open, and I thought to myself, all right, this is probably going to come back down. Oh, this isn't the market open. This was an hour before when CPI was released. So my plan was right around this area, I was going to place a Deva spread, and I did. And I placed some futures trades here. Was up for a really nice gain. Got stopped out down here, and price continued to go down. And I thought, oh, that's fantastic. Let's look at the other indexes here. So Russell 2000 looked so strong. Dow Jones looked so strong. And I thought, would you look at that? I picked the laggard. Then, all through here, this big move, this big candle right here, placed some more futures trades and had a really good trade up to here. That was awesome. Got back in futures over here, rode it all the way and closed it out right here. Oh, I started it here and added back here, closed it out right here for a small loss. And then Dow Jones did a futures trade right here. A really good buy point, and ended up selling it like right here. So missed out on all this stuff, but nevertheless, that one was like a $95 profit per contract. So whatever. Okay. All right, that was it for futures. I'm not writing them down like I used to because, man, these videos would go long. Every single one, so. But that just gave an overview, summary of all of it anyway, so that was quick and to the point. And now we can move on. All right, let's go over some other positions. So NVIDIA. Oh, and this... yeah. Okay. NVIDIA, I'm still in this equity position. 125.19. And it's 146.27. Okay. NVIDIA. Let's go over Goldman Sachs. Still in Goldman Sachs from back here. Way back here. 459 is the average cost. And some change. And we're up here. Cool. That looks good. This is not a good close. Expect continued consolidation, and the longer the consolidation, the better. That would be good to see. Let's look at XLF. Let's see what's going on with this after I closed it out yesterday. Yeah, probably get some sort of pullback, some more consolidation. Again, that would be fantastic. Wow, but does Berkshire Hathaway look good? So if this starts moving up, then the probability of XLF moving up is much higher. Okay. Also, if this could break out to all-time highs and keep going, this is a nice long base here. Couple months base. All right. Bitcoin. This futures chart really got sold off today. None of this is surprising in the least. I mean, wow. Great recoveries. Still looks good. This is an hour chart. Clearly you can see the demand is still there. Wow. Huge volume. That's pretty wild. So I'm in the 2x leverage Bitcoin fund at $33.07. I did not add to this one today. That's $53. So cool. That's awesome. Great gain. It's not time to sell this yet. It's not quite time. I would really like a nice pullback, a nice consolidation, a better entry point, something that'll help move this price higher in a sustained fashion. Okay, so that's it for the positions. Now, let's go over a couple things here. So we went over CPI and how our money is worth less than it was last month. And, oh shoot, that's not it for the positions. CCJ. Okay. So this opened way up. Remember, I got into this yesterday. This opened way up. And I thought, sweet, awesome, just dumped all day. But this is still totally fine. This is totally fine. Although, holding an options position down 2.5% really sucks. This is completely fine. This is a 4-hour chart. No big deal here. If this can start gaining some steam and turn back up, I will add to this position. This is a great entry point right here. But I just hate adding to losers. I hate doing it. So, I'm down on the day in this one. So I just kind of was like, you know what, there'll be plenty more time to add to this as it turns up, But yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So those are January 17, $50, January 17 expiration, $50 strike price, $6.45. Those are currently $5.55. Now let's talk about some more nuclear stuff. NVIDIA is going to be investing in nuclear energy, and they're going to put some AI crap in the nuclear power plant or whatever the heck it is. So you have companies like Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and then the U.S. government investing in nuclear energy. So effectively, that is unlimited money. You can't get any more money than NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, the U.S. government, right? It's still bullish on nuclear stocks. And this is a uranium play. So kind of more of a picks and shovels type play. All right. I want to see this on the weekly chart again. Where did this go? It's kind of maybe a little bear trap. Let's see the monthly. Wow. Huge base. My goodness. Since 07. Whoop. All right. Well, cool. If that continues to work, that can work for a long time. All right. Now let's go over a couple other news items. We'll go back to Bitcoin. So there's an article here where I don't know if I can find it again. Oh, here it is. Bitcoin can reach $1 million by 2037, economist says. Economist. Buy of a lifetime opportunity. So in this, he says, we're in a massive everything bubble. I can tell you one thing, bubbles never ever end well. Okay? Trust me, we're in an everything bubble. Another great sentence here. When everybody gets on the boat, that's when the Titanic sinks. So I think everybody's in the boat now. And yet he's saying Bitcoin can go to $1 million. So he's kind of contradicting himself there. Now, this economist, I don't have no clue what he said about Bitcoin in the past. I don't know. You don't really need to know. Bitcoin has been attacked ruthlessly by everybody. Governments, everything. China, the entire government of China, as much as our government in the U.S. could do, they did. Everything. Economists, everything. So now all of a sudden he's like, it could go to $1 million, but be careful, we're in an everything bubble. Although it's a buy, it's a buy of a lifetime, a once in a lifetime. So that's why these things. It's like never ever do I pay attention to these. Never ever. And does this economist manage money professionally? I highly doubt it. Economists are kind of like meteorologists, you know? They just always are wrong, and then you still have a job. So, you know, take what they say with a grain of salt. You know, they don't sit in a risk chair. Okay. Now, Pelosi. So we talk about managing money. So Pelosi, one of the greatest stock pickers. I wonder why. Her portfolio since Trump has been elected. Okay. Her portfolio since Trump has been elected. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And this came out yesterday. But anyway, so 5 days. In 5 days, Nancy Pelosi has made $7.5 million in 5 days. Which is killer. That's awesome. Normally, anybody I'm happy for. However, the likes of Nancy Pelosi, so hypocritical. Or Elizabeth Warren, you know, she's worth like $100 million, whatever it is. Nancy Pelosi's just making bank right now, and yet saying, you know, the rich should pay their fair share and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, dude, she's so freaking hypocritical. It's unbelievable. Anyways, $7.5 million, good for her. Sweet. Okay. All right, that's it. Now let's go over tomorrow. So tomorrow we've got PPIs being released tomorrow, and I think that's kind of holds more weight than the CPI, in my opinion. It should. So that'll be important. That'll be an important number coming out 8:30 Eastern. And then we have Powell is talking. Woohoo. Maybe he'll get as spicy as he did last time. Would you quit if Trump asked you to? No. All right. That'll be at 2 Eastern, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. So then what goes on Friday? Retail sales. That's always pretty important. I wonder if retail sales will be down because consumer credit has been down. Could be. And that's it. All right, let's go over what tomorrow may bring. I don't think much. I really don't know. Remember on Friday I said this week is going to be chill. Don't chase anything. It's just going to be mellow. I'll probably just meditate all week. And that has been a good meditate. That has been a good strategy thus far. I did take a loser trade that we went over. That was 10%. So, you know, whatever. I haven't really done much. I've taken basically all profits. Yeah, except for that Bitcoin position, Nvidia and Goldman Sachs, which those aren't even swing trades anyways, so it doesn't, I'm not even, those don't count. And that debit spread that I have on in the leveraged queues. So yeah, I haven't done anything really at all. Just waiting for a more obvious entry point, and then we'll hit it hard. So it's one of those weeks where you can get chopped in and out, and it's important to reserve that mental capital in this week. I mean, this has been all funky, you know. Doop, 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 doop. So lots of intraday movement for like no movement, you know. All right, let's look at oil. Oh shoot, let's look at XBI. That's something I didn't look at today. I was busy doing other things. All right, awesome. Okay, good. This is coming down. That's fantastic. You know what we need to look at is the dollar index. You know, it is remarkable that Bitcoin is moving up as much as it is, where the US dollar is increasing this much. That is quite remarkable and something I haven't seen. This was all during the Bitcoin bear market. So, yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, oil. Oil, not time for a short position, not time, but it will be. Wheat and corn, I may have missed my opportunity to go short. Dang it. Yep, I did here, oh boy. And this is on big volume. All right. Corn. Shoot. All right. Let's go over some video games. See what's going on with video games. Wow. Okay. Sweet. We just gotta wait for a pullback, or a more obvious buy point. How did semis do today? Down. This still looks fine. Semis. Amazon continues to perform very well. Microsoft, I think, had a good day, although I guess it did kind of sell off. Man, it's holding on. I hope this can turn up. And if this does turn up and the board approves, the shareholders vote for Microsoft to start buying Bitcoin, this will just rip. And wow, that would be so freaking cool. That'd be a huge opportunity. That's in a month. We won't know for a month. But, all right. Apple, man. Apple still can't even get above the 50-day moving average. That's not a good sign. Let's look at Apple on a weekly chart. Let's see if there's... Yeah, this doesn't look good. Dang, this looks like it's kind of rolling over. But I hope not. All right. Is there anything else that we can go over? We went over some news today. That was fun. I saw Rivian was up pretty big. Don't really care. I didn't even look as to why. Obviously be on some sort of news, but got booted. So clearly the news wasn't that big of a deal. Although Rivian trucks do look pretty sweet, I have to admit. Rivian, okay. Oh! The cannabis ETF. Nice. Nice. And this is on big volume. Yeah, I broke that rule and got humbled, so we're not gonna touch that. Let's see, some losers today. Wow, interesting. Okay, let's go over some Bitcoin miners. Just down 15%, no big deal. This is another perfect illustration as to why I constantly say just go long, the underlying or the commodity or whatever it is. You don't need to try and pick a single stock because sure, there's a chance to outperform, but there's also a chance to significantly underperform. Now, a way to guarantee for something like Bitcoin or oil, you can do this with oil too, or gold, there's leveraged funds where a way to guarantee an outperformance of the underlying commodity or underlying asset is to just go long a leveraged fund or buy calls or something along those lines, right? So long as you're correct in the direction of your trade, you will outperform. So that's my 2 cents on it. Let's look at Marathon. Although, with this being said, I still will trade these if the setup is right. So, for a very quick sort of swing trade. Let's look at Hut. Okay. Look at this close. That's not one you like to see. Let's look at MicroStrategy. Down 8%. Yep. Okay. All right, that's it. Let's go over some precious metals. Gold still getting clobbered. Not surprising. Silver getting clobbered. Not surprising. The 5 years look not good. 10 years, not good. Yeah, very interesting. What's going on with the volatility index? Down. But still not. It still can go lower. All right. Is that it? Yeah, I guess so. So the plan for tomorrow is more of the same. I'm not going to do anything unless there is a clear and obvious signal. Again, if markets start respecting this 9-day EMA, things can certainly move up a lot more. Russell, I don't think looks that good now. Yeah. Maybe some day trades, some intraday stuff. Again, we're kind of getting coiled up here for a move one way or the other. You can tell by these candlesticks that there is clearly demand whenever the price goes down, but not enough demand to push it up. So that's where we're at. So far, super chill week. No big deal. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. So, all right, guys. See ya.